can you beat Monster Hunter Rise without taking any damage at all? Well, with its release coming onto PC, I thought this would be a good time to test out my monster hunting skills, and bear with me here, I am pretty bad at this game. And just to be clear here, the rules for this run are as follows. If I take damage of any kind, I must restart the encounter, and the challenge officially ends once the credits roll. With all that said, let's begin the run. Of course, since this entire challenge is going to cause me probably the most pain I've ever felt in my entire life, I decided to make my character look like a complete and utter idiot. He looks like an emo, sad boy who listens to Chemical Romance, and he wears... I also managed to equip the most disgusting clothing I've ever seen. I look like some kind of hillbilly cowboy goth, and yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Also, weirdly enough, all the clothes in Monster Hunter cover your nipples.
It'd be good if it had a little nipple on it.
I then quickly have to enter an appropriate name, which I think is fairly appropriate. I also created my little dog and named him something very appropriate to how he looks. I also named my cat something, and this is probably an indication of how useful this thing's going to be. The dog was far, far superior. So anyway, on with the game. So we boot it up and I get rudely awakened by these two fair maidens. And I mean, if you don't like the one on the right is far better, superior material to the one on the left. It's just fact. It's just, I'm stating clear facts here. So we get woken up by these two people. So they talk to us for a bit and explain the whole situation, the whole premise for the game, and the opening title flies up on the screen. Also, codename with the Smith and the Forge and the women all jumping on the thing. Turns out video games are quite accurate to Japanese history. Who would have guessed? So all the tutorials get thrown at me. I skip all of these. I don't read a single one.
Perhaps you should read the instructions first.
Because the way this game handles tutorials is a really big gripe of mine. It's just walls of text, and I have to take a picture of this guy for some reason, and my brain just couldn't. I just wanted to get on with it. I just wanted to fight some monsters, and I just ignored everything, which I really shouldn't have done because it really hinders the run later on. So this run, I kind of decided that a blowgun might be the best option, mainly because I saw another guy do another video on this, Team Darkside. They did a whole series on Monster Hunters, and they're infinitely more skilled than I will ever be. Do not expect this caliber of gameplay or editing from me, because you're not going to get it. Anyway, I look at this blowgun and I can't make it. I need 3 ores, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just have to do the tutorial mission with a sword and hope for the best. How hard can it be as a tutorial mission?
You're gonna die here, you know. Convenient.
Boy, was I wrong. So I'm on with the tutorial, and basically I just run around with my sword and I try and collect all the materials that I might need for future runs, some like consumables. I think it's probably a good idea to go around and try and find some ores so I can actually make this blowgun. And I return back to the village and I get a little quest to collect these little fire lantern shrooms, so just go around, do that. The necessary materials now to then craft my blowgun, so I craft that and I set off. I set off to fight the first main monster in this quest line, the Great Izuchi. And now the Great Izuchi is there, and I've got my blowgun, so I'm just testing out stuff, and I set this really nice trap for him, and I think I'm so mega big brain IQ for this, and he just runs through it, and it does damage. I don't really do too much damage. I also figure out that my bullets have to be in an effective range. I can't just stand really far back and just pelt with bullets. I actually have to get up really close and personal with them, which I am kind of scared to do because I really don't want to get hit. This goes down eventually in time, and yeah, so I move on to the next one. So, I'm pretty confident about myself, feeling pretty good that I took out the first person. So the next person I get is Azurose, a big bear-like guy. And I get kind of arrogant with this. I try and put down those little like traps you can do with a blowgun, fight him for a bit longer, and I kind of have this brainwave idea. The fight is going really, really well, and I see him run off and he goes to sleep. So I'm like, okay, he's asleep, he's on the floor. So I put a trap down next to him and just blast him, and it kills him. He must have just been extremely, extremely low, and I just got very lucky. So, looked kind of cool, and yeah, second monster down. So I decided to take on the third boss. And you gotta bear in mind, this was actually really late at night. I was spending the entire day downloading this game, so at work the entire day. I'm really tired, and I just want to, chill for a bit. So I'm like, okay, I'll do the third boss, and then I'll call it for a day then, and I'll just save all my recordings and go off. And this guy he actually destroyed me. He's so fast, he throws snowballs really fast, everything just goes fast with no warning, and I just get hit again, I get hit again, I get hit again. I'm just restarting the fight.
Maybe try again tomorrow.
Anyway, so I go to bed and wake up the next day and try and fight the Great Bagby again, and I feel a lot better about this. This run goes a lot better. I think I do actually kill him on this one. I don't take any damage to the entire place. I dodge everything, and yeah, it's just a really clean fight. I just end up dodging everything. And yeah, I don't know if I got lucky. It's a couple of times it touched me, but the chip damage didn't go through, so not sure what really happened there, but I dodged the things I needed to dodge and he went down. However, it turns out that I'm a complete and utter idiot, and I was hunting the wrong creature the entire time because I didn't know that this one wasn't Bagby, it's a different one. So I'm kind of deflated about that because I have to go kill another monster now, and I've just spent this entire time killing this guy, and it's not even going towards anything, so yeah. Mistakes. So I eventually find the Great Bagby, and he's kind of a complete and utter joke. He goes down really fast. I think he's the fastest boss takedown that I ever do. I don't do anything special at all. He just kind of dies. And yeah, so I'm kind of relieved with that. I can progress with the main story, and he just goes down. So again, I have to now backtrack and kill someone that I've already done before, which is fine, because I can farm the materials. I'm sure they'll be useful for something. But I take him down pretty easy, similar stuff. He slides everywhere, throws snowballs, I dodge all the stuff. Pretty, like, some pretty close shaves at times, but yep, he goes down. I think he's quite difficult. So far, he's probably the hardest person I've been against so far, so we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, he goes down and we're on to the next one. Although he does actually look like Bugs Bunny on steroids, I do kind of like his design. And I go back to the village, and I think it's a good idea to maybe upgrade my blowgun a bit, because it kind of took a lot of shots to take down a couple of those people. I get completely lost in the menus. This is again referring back to when I didn't look at the tutorials. I have no clue what I'm doing. I create like 16 basic tier 1 blowguns. No clue what I'm doing. I just leave it. I'm just scared. I'm like, I'll just struggle through. I'll struggle through with a crap weapon for a bit. After this, I had to fight the massive crane. He was pretty easy, to be honest. I had to mount one of the bears that we fought earlier, and I did a whole bunch of damage with him. I think I'm finally getting the hang on the whole boarding system. And Jay just goes down without really that much of a fight. A pretty easy one, to be honest. Then I kind of have a moment, and I seem to remember that you can actually upgrade your pets. So I go back, try to figure out the menus, and for whatever reason, I'm just not in the mood to read anything. I just look at all these menus, and I just go, I accidentally unequip my little cat, and he wasn't doing much anyway. As long as I've got my dog, I should be completely fine. I know this guy. This is the first guy that you fight in Monster Hunter World. I remember fighting this dude. He's the guy with the egg, and he bashes the egg on your head. I was so excited that I actually knew one of the monsters from Monster Hunter that I just completely went Super Saiyan mode and just beat him straight up. He was not hard at all. He was a fun fight though. You had to shoot the egg out of his hands for it to break, and yeah, he just went down really easy. So yep, not too much issues. I think I got hit a couple of times. I just reset it. Nothing too major. Now next up with this dude, and this guy was kind of like a turning point. You can see me try and do like a wire bug move, and I try and dodge out the way of him, but I just get hit. That's a common theme. I always try and attempt to do something cool, and I just get hit by it every single time. But this guy was really hard. The fight went on for absolutely forever. About 6 resets in the end to actually finish this fight. I think at this point I kind of realised that I actually had to have better ammo and maybe a better gun to proceed, because this fight took a good like 40 minutes, 35 minutes, and it was just a pain, to be honest with you. It was really hard. I really hated these missions. I thought these rampage quests were boring, and they were slow, and there were tutorials everywhere, and I just didn't want to do them. I hated them so much. For those who don't know, it's basically just like tower defense but Monster Hunter. Sounds really good. I wanted to fight monsters one-on-one. It felt gimmicky. I mean, some people probably like it. I mean, it is a good mode. I just didn't want to do it. So the next fight was against Rogi. Now Rogi wasn't too bad. I kind of liked his design. He was kind of cool. But anyway, I got onto this bear guy and just did a ton of damage to him. I really enjoyed this boarding mechanic, mainly because it made my entire run like a lot easier, because he just did a ton of damage and I didn't really get hit, which was really, really nice. But it was a weird fight because he like ran off halfway through, and the bear guy jumped up, and I almost got tagged by that bear when he like clambered up. Very weird. But yeah, he went down fairly easy. I kind of discovered also that you can do a wire jump, and then whilst you're doing wire jump, you press B again on the Xbox controller, and you fire a shot downwards, and it gives you a bit of distance, and you put one of those little mines on someone. You can actually attach it onto them, which I didn't know. So I tried to give it a go there, obviously failed. But yeah, I get better at this as the run goes on. Now, this is a Tetradon, and it's my most favourite designed. I love him. He's like a platypus who's like a turtle who's like a moss on him. But oh my god, I hate this fight. I hate this fight so much. This fight sucks ass. I hate him. He just splashes water. He like body slams you. He sumo wrestles you. I hate it. It took me so many tries. It was such a struggle. I started losing hope if I was actually able to do this run in this. I almost gave up halfway through this guy because he was just horrible. I absolutely hated him. He's such an asshole. He's so tanky. And yeah, I eventually did it in the end. It was a bit cheesy, and it's just so hard. I just didn't enjoy it at all. I mean, it was a great fight, great boss design, but oh my god, trying to do a no-hit run of this, it was just pain. Once I learned the fight, it was fine. Just getting to that stage, could not do it. Now this is about the time where all the fights start to get really, really difficult, really hard. So next up is this monkey dude. I really enjoy this guy's design. I think he's cool as anything. He's got so much personality when he throws one of those like flash berries and then he like covers his eyes from it. I think it's just awesome. Ton of personality, really well designed. But oh my god, some of the stuff that he would throw and the tail whips that he would do, such absolute just, oh no. I just had to conserve my energy and just roll when I could roll, and just stay far, far away. As you see, I try and do a cool wire thing and I get hit early on, but yeah, eventually I get him. Bit cheesy again, but yeah, I enjoy the design, but what a hard fight, really difficult. I also attempt to do one of those wire jumps again by putting one of those mines on the creature, but I only just miss his head by a little bit, but I just shoot it a couple of times and he eventually goes down. Kind of a cool finisher for a very, very hard and difficult fight. So after this really hard fight, I kind of put everything into perspective a bit, that I maybe need a little bit of help from maybe some of my armor buffs. I know armor doesn't really matter in a no-hit run, because if I get hit, it doesn't matter how much armor I have. If I take any kind of damage, I have to restart the run. But the whole thing is that I seem to remember that you can get specific types of armor that give you some like passives. But again, there's so many menus, and I don't think it anywhere explained what the actual armor did. So I just went through and I just made whatever I thought was cool, or whatever I could actually make, just to give me some kind of benefit for the next fight. And I'm very glad that I crafted some kind of armor, because I was against this guy, and this guy, it was like an electric sugar glider. I love his design. Why is when the design is cooler, the monster is harder? Because this guy really, really showed me a bad time. I had to dodge everything. There was projectiles with little traps on the floor that I had to avoid. He had this really bad like tail swish move that was just a massive AoE around him. Really hard to dodge. But yeah, I eventually also realised that I could get better ammo as well. So this is the first time I actually used ammo 2 and ammo 3, and they did so much more damage. Why was I not using these before? Why was I not using these before? Why did no one tell me about these? I actually do manage to cheese this fight a bit and get onto our monkey friend, and he does a ton of damage to this guy, which is really, really nice. And also when I dismount off this, the monsters knock back into me. The player makes the animation of getting hit, but I don't actually take any damage from it, I don't think. So yeah, very, very lucky with that, because I was really close to finishing the fight. But yeah, eventually he does go down. I was so happy when he went down. You can actually, I'll show you a bit of the actual in-game audio of me celebrating. Thank God he's finally died. That was such a long fight. Oh my God. Yes, we can move on to the next one. We can move on to the next one now. However, I really wish that we didn't move on to the next one, because this guy was the hardest person. I think out of all the bosses in this entire like run, this was the hardest one to do. This guy sucked. He was just fast, he was mean, he was so aggressive. The AI was super duper aggressive. He just chased me around the entire place. I even tried to get on my dog and like run away for a bit, and he would just follow me the entire way. But eventually I do get him down, and I put some bombs and I just like shoot all my things. He just explodes and he goes down. But this took me so many attempts. I spent a good hour and a bit on this boss. I would just get hit by this like chip damage, and he would just run at you every single time. He gave you no room to breathe whatsoever. Really difficult. Then, luckily, we have a little bit of a change of pace. I've been more of a tanky, slower kind of person to fight now. I was so relieved for this, because I really struggled with the last 3 encounters. But against this guy, I actually really enjoyed this guy's design. I think he looks great. I kind of feel bad for killing him at the end. And yeah, I get hit once and I just like floating, and then I hear a recall. It's really weird animation. But yeah, he runs away and he tries to hide in the ground, and that kind of bamboozles me for a bit. But I find him, get him, style him a bit, and he does go down. And I really enjoy this environment. This is a cool environment. This is more Monster Hunter in my mind, like volcanoes, the lava and everything. But yeah, as you can see on screen, he's kind of just there, just relaxing. I just couldn't find him for a while. I was like, these rocks don't look quite correct. So yeah, I just had to hit them a couple of times, and I was really surprised that, oh, if I knew he was there, I would have put some bombs around, maybe got some large barrel bombs and tried to like one-shot him maybe, but oh well, I couldn't. Started him a bit. I actually managed to get a mine actually on him this time, because he was such a slow-moving monster that I actually was able to hit him, which I was really proud for. I hit that a couple of times. I feel bad for killing this guy. I would also have this guy as a pet. I think he's awesome. Yeah, do it again. I'm starting to get a bit arrogant here, because I'm like, oh, okay, I can actually do them now, like, confidently. I know this guy's not going to, like, do some chip damage and knock me out the sky anytime soon. But yeah, doing a bit more damage, and yep, he goes down like that. I've resorted to using normal ammo 1 again, because I think I forgot to buy any. So, yep, great, a really long fight again. Where does this come from? Why does it have teeth? What creature has teeth on a syringe? Why? So after being very thoroughly disturbed by that weird syringe thing, and I do know where that comes from what creature, I didn't fight it, but it's a creepy creature, I hate it, it's so gross. Enjoyable boss fight. The licky, flicky tongue thing is horrible, I hate it, that hit me so many times. Really hard to avoid, but I kind of used the different ground elevations to my advantage by standing on the lower one if he's on the higher one, and standing on the higher one if he's on the lower one, so he wouldn't be able to roll at me, and if he did, he would like hit the wall when he would roll, and he went down fairly fast. I mean, he is a bit of a pain, quite tanky, but yep, it was alright. Just before he was about to get taken down, he has a violent case of diarrhea and kind of just poops himself to death, so yeah. Well, after this, I actually discovered that you can actually put armor on your little pets and stuff, so I decked my guy out to look really, really cool. He deserves a new set of armor since he's been so useful this entire run. And after this, I'm fighting Wrathion, and I'm really excited because I actually know what Wrathion is. I know that's a Monster Hunter monster, so I'm really happy about that, but I'm less happy that the fact that I get tagged by a little fish on the way who can swim through sand, apparently, which is odd. But yeah, fight Wrathion, really good fight, enjoyable fight, not too hard. I got hit a couple of times, had to reset. But yeah, it was a good one. I really enjoyed this fight. Wrathion's a cool creature. I like him. But these fights are so much easier once I actually had the correct ammo. Once I had the normal ammo 3 and normal ammo 2, I just did so much damage. I'm sure it's not major damage compared to what other people can do, but for this run and for this purpose and for my first time playing this game blind, it was really, really nice to actually do more than 1 damage. I swear, whoever did the music for this deserves an award. I might make an entire playlist just so I can listen to Monster Hunter music when I play other games, because it is just literally that good. So this is where we had a bit of a problem. As you can see, my village progress is 5-star, but my hub progress is 1-star. I have not done any hub progress stuff. I thought I could just ignore them, and it turns out the game gets really hard when you ignore these completely, and that's what I did. So I go into the very, very last fight before the credits roll, and I'm fighting Magnamallow, and this guy is rough. He is really fast, super aggressive, massive range, weird attacks, and it's just hard, and I just get beat. I just get wiped out immediately. I don't even have a chance to even just, like, you know, try and do a couple of practice runs. He just one-shots me straight off, and it's just, yeah, I just can't do this. I can't do this at the moment. So what I end up doing is trying to progress through some of the hub quests. Now I fight a Wrathion and one of the herring guys. Pretty easy. I think they're a little bit of like a toned down version of the ones I actually fought, but they went down without a fight, and I'm now hub quest level 2, and I'm like, this is going to take forever. Like, surely if I just commit myself to it, maybe I can beat Magnamallow. I can just do it. Maybe I can cheese it in some way. Maybe I can just get really lucky and maybe get a good run. And thankfully that is exactly what happened. I do not know how. I do not know why, but I managed to not get hit throughout the entire fight with this guy. I tried at least 15 times and he would just instantly one-shot me every single time. But for this reason, he just wasn't interested in me. He was too interested in the dog, and when he did fight me, luckily I just about had the right dodges to do it, and I kill him in a pretty spectacular way at the end. It felt really good to get this off. I even managed to board one of the guys that you first defeat in Monster Hunter. I think this is the same guy, so it's kind of got a bit of like a poetic justice to it that I actually finished this guy off pretty much with the first monster that I hunted by controlling him with the little wire things. So yeah, he goes down, I put some little mines next to him, blast him. I'm so thankful that he's down, because this really, I did not think I would be able to do this without getting hit, like, at all. And yeah, I put these mines down next to him, and I'm just clenching my teeth through that entire time, like, please, 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 just, like, die, quit, please. I see the numbers go up and do, like, 90 damage a shot. I'm like, come on, I'm pumping these numbers really hard. And thank God he finally went down. It took a really long time to get this right. So the cutscene plays. I get given a massive sword, which is really, really clunky, and my guy hasn't used a sword throughout the entire run, so I doubt he'd even know how to use that. But thank you, strange person, I will treasure it forever. And then the credit rolls. So that's the end of that. I've completed the challenge. I've defeated Monster Hunter without taking a single hit. I sure hope that this wasn't just a weird tutorial to the game actually starting, and for some reason the developers only put the credits halfway through the entire game to make it feel like they actually finished it, but actually you've only just done all the low rank monsters, and there's an entire plethora of high rank monsters which are all just as bad as that fight before, and which would be nigh impossible to defeat without taking one hit whatsoever. Well, to my realization, this is actually not the end of the game. Yes, the credits did roll, and that did what I said at the start of the thing, but I kind of feel like I've cheated out a lot of people by saying I completed Monster Hunter Rise. I have not completed the game. This is not done. There are so many more creatures to hunt and so many more hard fights. To say that this game's finished here would be an injustice to the people who made the games and all the fans of Monster Hunter. So this is not done. This is part 1. I pulled a sneaky on you. It says it in the thumbnail. That's part 1 you should have read. So I will do a part 2 at some time and do all these high rank monsters, but I'm just going to have to take a break from this. I'm going to go play other games, play some other challenges, and then I'm going to come back to this, because I will actually have a mental breakdown, because it took so long and it was really, really, really hard and difficult. And doing that last fight, and if they're worse than that last fight, I'm going to be so, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to have to, like, grit my teeth and just bear it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this challenge video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like the video, and share it with some Monster Hunter friends. Again, really sorry for gimping you out on this one. I did not mean to debate everyone, and if you think I'm fighting some like really high-end ranked monsters, I will get to that eventually, but like I said, this is my first time playing Monster Hunter. I'm not good at this. This is like the one game that I am really bad at. Like, I really suck at this game, and I know some of the early gameplay was really painful now that I look back at it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for bearing with me and watching this video. If you like it, please stay around for some more, and I'll catch you guys later.